Kauai. Whew, this is the second time I've been to Kauai and the second time I've seen a full room. I wrote down some notes. Full rooms make me nervous a lot of times. So I want to say, aloha from Molokai first of all. And hey, there you are. Aloha from Molokai. We have so much in common. We're all country people, and some of the things we did together. We learned from Kauai that we had to go against cruise ships. You guys went after the governor, and then you guys went after the ships that came over here, and
sink the ferry.
And that ferry didn't have a chance when you guys put your mind to it. And on Molokai, everybody understands that, the link between you guys and Molokai is Kauai was never conquered, right? I mean, that's a really famous story in the Hawaiian community. But on Molokai, we were never conquered either. And let me tell you why. Because Molokai was Aina Momona. Molokai was where they produced taro in all of the valleys, and we had the largest reef system in the state, and in fact, the largest contiguous reef system in the United States. And then we have the Ho'olihua farmlands, all of the farmland. The Big Island people drew when they see our farmlands because we don't have lava and rocks all in our farmland. So when the armies came, either Maui going to conquer Oahu, or Oahu going to conquer Big Island, or whoever, all these kings were after each other, they would stop on Molokai and would fill all the canoes with food and water. And we were like Switzerland. We were the neutral island where we could feed anybody. So that's another reason. So you guys were never conquered, and Molokai was never conquered. So aloha from Molokai. So the other thing I want to confess is that I met somebody from Molokai in the 1960s, and she was a really beautiful girl. And we kept her on Molokai. We took her away from Kalaheo, and we're going to bring her back next week. So mahalo Kauai for a beautiful girl from the island of Kauai, for my wife, Ritte. Really Kauai has really beautiful people. So I'm trying to make the link to you guys because I really want to, not come all the way from Molokai and not have a good relationship, because all of our islands, we need to be able to know what each other is doing. And I don't know if it's by purpose or whatever, but in order for me to come here, it costs a lot of money, and in order for you to go there, it costs a lot of money. And I can't even get to Oahu to testify in hearings or anything like that because we're just running out of money. So every chance I get to come and link up, I come and link up. So I want to come here today for a couple of reasons. One reason is to support, that's the first reason I came, is to support the Waimea community that's having problems with the guys on my right and the guys on my left. So one of the things I really want to talk to is the people who live in the town of Waimea. You are in a position now to become leaders in this state in this whole GMO battle. This GMO battle is really, really complicated. And it's so complicated, and it's made complicated because there's so many negative impacts from these people that you can talk all day about all of those negative impacts. The other thing that makes it complicated that is very secretive, and they keep it that way. And the problem with the secrecy stuff is that now they're getting not only corporations are secret, but now the corporations are getting into our government. They're coming into our government, and they're bringing that whole attitude of secrecy into our government. And we find our elected officials being very, very hard to talk to. And some of that is our fault because we stay home and we think everything is hunky-dory. And then when something goes wrong, then we start to react. I'm here to let you know that on this battlefront of GMOs, it's happening on every single island. It's happening on every single. You are not the only island that is going through this. And this is the first time I've come here, and I went up the hill and I actually saw the extensive fields on this side and the extensive fields on this side. And you guys are in the middle of it. I mean, this is a very central battleground. So we need all of you in this room, a lot of you came because you live in this area. Some of you came because you wanted to get some really good information about chemicals. But one thing that you need to take back with you, wherever you're going to go, is we need to all support this effort in Waimea. This is going to be really, really important that we all support the community of Waimea. It's the only community that has legally taken on this GMO issue. The only community. We've been fighting on Molokai because they came overnight. They came in the middle of the night. It's hard to sneak on Molokai. Right now, it's really, really hard to sneak on Molokai. But they did it. Okay, so that tells you these people are not slouches. They came and they were there 3-4 years before we even knew they were on our island. They came and they bought existing Hawaiian research that were doing growing corn with universities and everybody else is doing experiments, but they weren't growing GMOs. Nobody ever heard of GMOs. They came in, they bought the company, changed everything, changed the crops, changed everything. The only thing they didn't change was the science. And they were all top secret stuff, so nobody knew what was going on. So, but this reminded me of when I was growing up. I grew up in an old house with cane walls, double wall, cane. And you come in quietly, and after you in the bar or something, and you turn on the light right away, and you see the cockroaches stuff running all over the place and going into the cane walls. So I'm thinking, maybe if I just learn how to sneak in the room and turn on the light, and all these bloody cockroaches that are they'll start running, So that's why I go all over the place, trying to turn on the light and shine the light on these guys, because these secret guys, they're going to run like cockroaches. And that's what we need to do. Nobody came to Molokai to help us legally. We didn't understand the legalities of it all. So Waimea, you're at the forefront. Okay? Yesterday, we're in Haleiwa. Anybody got social media? Yes. Social media. So anybody would know what's going on. Oh, they have some television too. But we went to Haleiwa, and we were doing a march. And, it's like 600 people showed up, and everybody went, whoa. And the leader of this whole event is from Kauai, Justin Barker. He was there, and you guys would have been proud of this boy. I tell you right now, he stood up on the truck, and there's 600 people, and he was talking to all these people and telling them about aloha and family and protecting the land. He did an excellent job. So he's also leading a march next week on this island. So next week, Saturday, they're going to be at Point So that'll be a great time for Kauai to come out. And the reason they're going down to Point Poo is because, and one of the things that why they wanted to do Haleiwa was to try and tie the industry that's now in Hawaii. This industry, this biotech industry, these chemical companies, they're now the foundation of our agricultural industry. They're the largest employer on our island. So you can imagine what's happening statewide. The governor is like bowing down to these guys. Okay? I heard a speech on Facebook where the governor was saying to all of these companies, you don't have to come here and lobby me. I'm here to lobby you. So that was like, whoa, I can't even get an appointment to lobby him. So, that was pretty heavy. So that tells you that these biotech companies are now being groomed to be a foundation for agriculture. So we're up against pretty big boys. Okay? So, Waimea, I think everybody's going to be watching how the legal part of all of this fits. It's not going to be the answer to solve all of the GMO problems, but it's going to be a major part of it. Okay? The march next week is going to be a big part. Talking to your legislators is going to be a big part. Who's your legislators? Anybody know your legislators? That's your senator. Ron Kochi is your senator. She lives here, right? Yeah, she's a good lady. At the hearings, we had really good vibes from her about GMOs. And Kawakami, we had pretty good vibes from Kawakami about GMOs. I don't know about any others. I'm just talking GMOs. He listened. I know his wife is working on him. And who's the other one? Tokioka. Oh, Tokioka, I'm not sure. You guys gotta put some pressure on him. He's kind of like,
both ways.
I couldn't figure him out. Yeah, I couldn't figure him out. So, but those are your reps, those 3 reps, and then the senator. So when it comes to your reps, okay, come Tuesday, the labeling bill, which is House Bill 174, is going to go to the floor of the House. How about a round of applause for that? And one of the reasons it's going to the floor of the House is because of people like Jerry over here from Hawaii Seeds. Last year we went to the legislature. We couldn't even get a hearing. We couldn't say one single word about what was happening on Molokai, about what was happening in Waimea, about what was happening on the Big Island. Nothing. We couldn't even come in. That's how locked up that legislature was last year. So everybody got mad. I'll get mad, okay, do something. So for 1 year we've been working. And this year we got assigned to 3 committees. If you get assigned to 3 committees at the legislature, that's a kiss of death. Okay, because you got to go to 3 hearings in order to get to the floor. And we got through 3 hearings, and now we're going to get to the floor on Tuesday. And we can lose at the floor. So in order for us to win at the floor, we need all of you to use your cell phones. I know you guys got cell phones. And you need to call your reps, okay? And don't forget Tokioka. Call your reps and ask them to vote yes on Tuesday. Yes on House Bill 174. Okay, that's going to be really, really important. If we get out of the House, then we get to the Senate. And when we get to the Senate, Kauai, if we ever get out of the House on Tuesday, we get to the Senate, then Ron Kochi is going to be the key. Okay, he is going to be the key. He's the vice chair of the Agricultural Committee. So very likely the bill will get referred to the Agriculture Committee, which is chaired by this guy named Nishihara. But the vice chair has a lot of clout in this committee. So you guys, Kauai, can actually save this bill by convincing Ron Kochi. So every single person needs to call him, especially watch that vote on Tuesday. If it gets to the Senate, flood him with calls, and we'll have a labeling bill in Hawaii. So back to the real reason that I came, I kind of divert all of it. This is my blood to go divert all over the place. You know, the families of Waimea that have been brave enough to get legal advice, and it's really important that we trust our legal advice. You know, a lot of times I don't trust lawyers, but the only reason I'm here standing in front of you, able to talk after all of my shenanigans in my life is because of lawyers that kept me out of jail for a little while anyway. And so I learned how to pick, good lawyers. And you guys have good lawyers, they're dedicated to what they're doing, and all they need is your support. I know one thing I know about the legal system, okay? Take it from me now. Been around the legal system a lot. Is that it's not just the lawyers that win your case, okay? Lawyers talk to judges. Judges live in communities. They go home, they have wives, they have kids and grandkids. They're just like you and me. So what you say and what you do is going to influence judges, not just the lawyers. So we need to really support this town, this Waimea issue. And we need to do things, get organized, whatever it takes to be assertive, to stand up, and to show that this community is genuinely concerned about these poisons that are blowing into your houses every single day. And I know exactly how you feel. It's happening to us on Molokai. I have to control my sons. I'm having a hard time because they all just had babies. I'm a great-grandfather now, and we all live in the same place. And we get this same thing you guys are getting. And we're up here with it. We're not going to put up with it. We are not going to put up with it. So I know how you guys feel. Our fields are higher than your fields. I don't know how high these fields are, what, 500 feet maybe? Ours are about 1,000 feet altitude. And we got a little bit over 1,000 acres. And on Molokai, we're a farming community just like you guys. Okay, you guys were sugarcane, we were pineapple. Pineapple, I don't know about sugarcane, but pineapple, we don't plow our fields maybe once every 4 or 5 years. We plow our fields and then we replant. Today on Molokai, they plow the fields 4 times a year, maybe more. So that means the soil is being broken down into finer and finer particles. And we have such big winds on Molokai that they want to put windmills and help with the electrical problems on Oahu. So we have very, very strong winds. This summer, we had at least 5, not the dust devils, we had at least 5, I don't know what you call them. You know, we don't have a name for them. We've never seen them before. It's like a storm, where you cannot see anything. It's just red. Everything was red. It was like we're all freaking out. And then the thing lifted, and a big blanket, and then it started going towards the ocean. And you could see it going down onto the reefs. And the thing went right across the channel, and then it blocked our view from Lanai. We couldn't even see Lanai. It's huge. And then the thing went like above Lanai and disappeared. So it's like, it's a new dawn for us, you know, it's like, and every day we gotta roll up windows when we drive by and whatever. So it's like, we can either just put up with this and think that somebody someday is gonna solve this problem. And it reminds me of the taro farmers. Taro farmers feel that they just gotta go and plant taro and everything is gonna be okay. And then they find out the water starts to get warm and you get less and less water. And then pretty soon, you know, the taro farmer is trying to farm, but no more water. Then the taro farmer begins to realize he cannot just be a taro farmer. He has to go and fight for his water. And that's the reality of who we are today. So if we're going to live chemical-free, and we're going to be protecting our land and our ocean from these people who have now come to Hawaii, these chemical companies who lie and call themselves farmers, they're not farmers. They're just profiteers. They are not farmers. They do not care about our land. They do not care about our resources in the ocean. They do not care. We have to care. Yeah. And that's a kuleana that was taught to us. You know, as Hawaiians, we grew up with this olelo that says, "Malama haloa, take care haloa, and Haloa will take care of you. So Haloa is our firstborn. Man comes from the same parents as Haloa. Haloa the Taro has the same parents as Haloa the man. We are one in the same family. And we are told as man to take care of Haloa. Haloa represents nature, it represents all of nature. That's our kuleana, that's our responsibility. It's our responsibility because we don't live in a continent, we live in the continent of water. And we were given little specks to live on. So how stupid can you be to not take care of those little specks, if you care about your future generations? So that's why the story was told to the Hawaiians, to every generation after generation after generation. If you fool around with nature, you don't get a slap on the wrist or scolding. You get cranked. And I mean cranked. You do not fool with nature. You cannot fool with nature. The future generations will disappear if you fool with nature. Today, we have lost that kuleana. We allow people like this to come on our hillsides and sneak in the middle of the night, and we do nothing about it. So I came to tell you how we're feeling on Molokai, and I came to support Waimea in the efforts, these legal efforts. I think it's going to be really important, and I came to share my aloha with all of you. Thank you.